Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. I'm sorry for joining late. Average student attitude doesn't go. All right, so let's wait for a minute for people to join in. As I see people are still joining. Let's wait for a minute and then we'll start the session. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, anything you want to check with me, please go ahead. Today I'm going to discuss the story of an average student, average apparently in a way that the past academics and the work experience was all average as we term, right? Average profiling is what we call average profile student cracked CAT and RC. There's nothing called RC. Anyways, how an average student cracked CAT, scored in excess of 98 percentile and a lot of other exams and made a mark. Right now, so we're going to discuss the story of this average guy. That's going to be someone you know already, right? And from which background, what kind of background did he come from, and what kind of competition he faced, what kind of challenges he faced, not just academically but psychologically, mentally. This is one of the biggest factors that contribute towards the success and failure in life, right? So we're going to discuss that. Just give me a minute. Let me just export it. Okay, here you go. I'm uploading the file that we're going to refer today. Should also have my introduction, where I come from. It is very important to understand who your educator is, who's giving you this life ke funde, life ke gyan, right? It's important to understand where he or she is coming from so that you and I, the student and the educators, can connect at a better level. Here you go. Akul, you'll get to know everything, all the background and what changed his or her life. Something that is mentioned. That is something we're going to discuss in this next 55 minutes of the session. Chaliye, let's begin. So welcome everyone, first of all, to this, I would say, more of a, not academic, but inspirational session. Inspirational session on how can an average student crack CAT. This is going to discuss a story of this guy who came from a very average, a modest academic background and work experience and cracked CAT and other exams and is doing pretty decent in life right now. Right, this is a special class I'm taking on this platform, Unacademy. This is a little bit about me, my background, where I come from. As I said, it's important to understand who your educator is on the other side of the table, who's giving you this life ke funde so that you and I can connect better. I scored a 98.3 in my CAT 2015. I graduated from MDI Gurgaon in 2018. I'm a verified CAMP Plus educator on this platform, an academy with 750 plus static videos and a lot of live classes that are recorded and uploaded for usual. I'm an aptitude trainer for past 4+ years now. I have a name published in Tata McGraw-Hill Books for CAT by Mr. Arun Sharma. If you're preparing for CAT in India, it's very likely that you're going to buy this TMH books, and I have my name published in that book. I've worked with Mr. Arun Sharma, who's also my mentor, and his wife, Mrs. Meenakshi Upadhyay, very closely. I still work with them with a startup called Mindworks on part-time basis. Right, and did my summer internship at the Boeing Company US when I was in MDI Gurgaon. I got this unique opportunity to intern with the Boeing Company US, something we will discuss later in the session. I'm a finance enthusiast, CFA level 2 candidate. I'm a French language enthusiast, DELF A2 certified from Lyon Process, the Bangalore. I'm passionate about cycling, sketching, reading, and also I'm a part-time DJ. To know more about me, you can click on this link, unacademy.com/user/Bhavuk Pujara. Before we begin, a short discussion on Unacademy Plus. You must have heard of Unacademy Plus, all the buzz around it. You get access to all live and structured courses, lessons by all top educators. I say these are like top 25, 30 educators that are on teaching on Unacademy Plus today. Like at this moment, we have in excess of 25, 30 educators on the platform. A lot of permanent educators, a lot of transient educators as well. Then you get access to weekly quizzes and doubt clearing sessions. So what we do is we launch a course and we discuss, we share with you the agenda that, at this time of the day, of the month, we're going to take this session, and this is what we're going to discuss. So as per your convenience, as per your interest, you can join that session. The commercials look something like this. If you are preparing for CAT 2020, I would say look up to a 12-month subscription. Right, we have people like Arun Sharma sir and Bharat Gupta sir who have like 20+ experience of teaching in this industry. And also you have educators like me who are doing this on a part-time basis, and a lot of them who are doing on full-time basis as well, people who are graduated from IIMs and MDIs and SPJANs of the country, and they are doing, a lot of them are doing this full-time, a lot of us are doing part-time as well. So look for something like this, subscription of 12 months. The cost comes down to around 1,500 rupees per month. If you're buying it for 1 month, you get first of all 7 days ka subscription for free for you to try and test, what this platform is, if this is for you, this is the thing for you, communicating online, interacting online with educators across the country, right? And the cost for 1 month subscription is 3,500 rupees. As you grow the subscription period, the cost comes down. For 12 months, it comes down to around 1,500 rupees per month. But if you use this coupon code Bhavuk Pujara, that is my full name and also my profile name on this platform, Unacademy, the cost comes down to, the price comes down to 90% of what is highlighted here. So 10% is what the discount is. Okay. So first of all, how to score 99, 98 plus kind of percentile in CAT. This is what we all question when we start preparing for our MBA entrance exam in India, which is CAT, the major one being CAT. Then we have ZAT and IEFT and MAT, SNAP and CMAT and MAT. We are launching a lot of courses around those exams as well. The second thing that comes to our mind is that I think I'm an average student, considering I've been interacting with a lot of people around, a lot of students, a lot of friends around. They have scored in excess of 90 in their 10th and 12th. Or मैंने life में इतना कुछ उखाड़ा नहीं है, I would say I've used that term. And I had that same feeling. This average student we're going to talk about had that same feeling, right? So if you think that you're an average student, I would say look around. Here's a story of an average student who cracked CAT. This story is about me, my background, my academics. If you look at, I've been very candid and very honest in sharing my background, so that in any way, if it inspires anyone, any student of mine, I would be really glad. My academics have been something like this. 10 CBSE, I scored a 79.8, 12 CBSE, a 73.6, graduation, BTech from Amity University, Noida. Not a very famous college for graduation or for engineering, I would say. I scored a CGPA of 7.1 on 10, right? I appeared for other exams too, say IEEE. I was a medical student, so I appeared for PMT. There used to be pre-medical test. I scored like in, I would say 2 digits, and my rank was in lakhs. IEEE rank was in lakhs. No call from any engineering or medical college in India. Like literally no engineering college or no medical college in India called me. Literally none but one, which was Amity University, and I joined it and I pursued my BTech from there. What can be more average than that, right? If you think that you have more average profile or worse profile than this, I don't think there can be anything bad than what has happened in the past in my past. If you look at my academics, and then work experience was a conventional work experience. I joined at a salary of 2.9 lakh rupees per annum in a very modest company called Accenture Services, right? And when I left after 5 years, my salary from 2.9 was just 6 lakh rupees. So this was the kind of experience I had. And a time came in my life when I decided to turn it around, right? And here is what I turned it to. First of all, I appeared for CAT 2014. I thought that I can do it, and I scored a 93.2 percentile. And everybody around in my family, in my peer group, my friends, and everybody in my network, they were a little surprised to see a 93.2 coming from me, considering the kind of background I had. And I don't blame them, right? And I thought that I could do better. I got a call from a lot of tier 2 colleges, including tier 1 colleges also, say IMT Ghaziabad, not tier 1 anymore, but it's touching tier 2 college, right? And everybody was like, why don't you just go ahead with this college? Because that is the best you can do in life, considering the kind of experience you've had, the kind of academic experience, the work experience you've had. 2.9 lakhs, say you're leaving the job at that time I was at 5.25 something, right? This is the best you can achieve. So why not just get done with MBA right now? But I knew from inside that I can do better. And I realized that there's an academic gap. There's some gap in my personality in terms of academics and achievements, and I really wanted to prove it to myself. Class shuru kab hogi? Guys, can you please confirm if you guys can hear and see me fine? There's someone who's asking the class has started yet. He's not sure. Okay. The class is running fine. Who's this guy? JK. Someone please ping JK and tell him that the class is running fine. All right, so here is what I turned it to. I knew that I could do better. My aim was to score in excess of 99 percentile, and my dream college was FMS in Delhi, and everybody would laugh at it. They would make fun of it, that considering the kind of experience, the kind of history, academically and work-wise, this is like a dream that cannot come true. But I knew from inside I could do better than a 93 percentile. So I let go of that 93 percentile. I believed in myself, and I started preparing for CAT again. That was the time when I got introduced to Arun Sharma sir. He opened a center in Connaught Place, Delhi, and I just went up to him. We spoke for like half an hour. He liked me in a way that he knew that probably he had some hope that I could help. If I achieve something good at even his startup, even his institute is gonna make name out of it. So he believed in me. He cut down the fees by 50%, and we started working together. I started preparing. And that is when the results came out of CAT 2015 and all the exams that I took that year. I scored 98.23 in my CAT 2015, 98.8 percentile in NMAT, that's 219 score. In IFT, I appeared just for the sake of it. I scored a 98.7 percentile. I got calls from colleges like IIM Lucknow, Noida campus, IFT Delhi, MDI Gurgaon, NITI Mumbai, Nasi Monji Mumbai, all new IIMs, and DAC. I stood second in the merit list. And all colleges, as I've mentioned above, were converted. I eventually ended up completing my MBA this year from MDI Gurgaon. Now, this may sound a very fancy story, a very inspiring story, but the hard work that I put behind this to achieve something like this is something that is worth discussing. Just discussing my achievements won't help you in any way in this class. It's okay to know that this is what I achieved. Probably I've grabbed your attention, but what went behind that, behind the curtain, is something that is worth noting. Now, what did I do? Ask myself why, what, how, when about my aspirations. As I said, CAT 2014, I scored a 93 percentile. Didn't work out for me. I knew that I could do better. Nobody else believed in me, but I knew I could do better than that. My aim was to score 19 percentile. I asked myself, why do I want to do MBA? First of all, why do I want to achieve this, right? And I had 4.5 years of work experience, 4 years of work experience when I appeared for CAT 2015. By the time I joined MDI, my experience was around 5 years. Okay, so everybody was like, go for GMAT or go for executive MBA. The time is gone for a regular MBA from India. But I knew that a regular program, a 2-year program, a 2-year MBA in India is of much more value than an executive program. And Dusra GMAT is something I cannot afford at that time. I told you about my salary. I've been very candid about it. That is not something I could do at that time. Spending say 50, 60 lakhs on my MBA, and considering a very average background, no achievement, no significant achievement, I was not sure if I would ever be selected in an international college. Right. So I asked about why I want to do it. What exactly do I want to achieve, which was a 99 percentile in my CAT exam. How am I going to do it? I was working full-time with Accenture, a very demanding job. Right, I was putting up in North Delhi, and my office was in Noida. Then it moved to Gurgaon, right? So it was a 1.5 travel one side. So to and fro, it would take me 3 hours, and 9 hours, 10 hours at work. So 13 hours, 14 hours a day I'm spending at work, and taking out time from there and spending on studying and preparing towards this exam was pretty challenging at first. How am I going to do it? It required a lot of planning, right? I didn't have a smartphone back then. Right, I used a very modest phone, and later I switched to 6 months down the line. I switched to a smartphone, a cheap one. And what I would do is in the cab when it was daylight, I would read some RCs, right? Or I would take a newspaper with me and read articles. This is how I improved my reading habit. I was not very good at it at first, but I knew this. Reading is a habit that you have to develop. People ask me, how to improve in RC, how to improve in verbal ability. So dictionary padhne ka ek hafta घर पे बैठकर रोज के रोज 5 पेपर 5 pages पढ़ेंगे डिक्शनरी के, is it going to help? I would tell you, it's not going to help you at all. It's a habit that you have to inculcate. All this achievement that I'm talking about, what is going to make you score 90 kind of a percentile, 98 kind of a percentile in this exam, is a habit that you have to inculcate, right? So how is something I figured out. And when would I do this? When would I start preparing, and what time of the day? In the morning, I would do RCs. Sometimes I would read newspapers. Sometimes in office, of course, I can't do much. And while returning, it would not be daylight. So the maximum I can do is, open my phone and, look at some GK or look at some, again, vocabulary there. So I decided that in the cab, I would do English. And once I reached back home, I would spend 1.5 or 2 hours every day on QA, DI, and LR sections. I would improve my these 3 sections by sitting back at home for 1.5 to 2 hours a day. Right? So these are the questions I asked. What do I do now? Now that I've not scored well in my CAT-alyst on 14, ab kya karna chahiye? I realized that what was missing in me, why couldn't I score more than 93 percentile, was not because I was not prepared well for the academically. It's not that I was not prepared, right? It was the fear in my head that, can I really do this, right? So, the kind of exam that you're preparing for is highly competitive. There are going to be like 2.5 lakh people you're going to be competing against, right? Your feeling is very natural. Kya main kar sakta hu? Can I do this or not, right? And I have never done this before. There's no precedence of me having done this before. So being skeptical, more skeptical, is very natural. It was very natural in my personality. So that is why I thought, 93 percentile pe main atak gaya. If I had more confidence in myself, especially during the exam, right? When you start solving questions, what happens is, when you're like very well prepared and coming from an average academic background, hota kya hai, when you solve like 35-40 questions, you start questioning yourself. Why are you doing it right? Because hey, you've never done this before. And how is it possible that you're doing it all right? How can you be so confident? So that bogs you down. So that is something I realized that was lacking in me, which was confidence. And a mentor who could hold my hand. That is when I got introduced to Arun Sharma sir, is what I've mentioned already. He's the one who mentored me throughout. So what do I do now? Was the question I asked myself. CAT-alyst on 14 didn't work out. What to do next? CAT-alyst on 15 ke liye kaise tayari kare? What was lacking was mentorship. So look for a mentor is what I did the first thing. So first, I would say 2 months is something I dedicated. I invested in finding a mentor for myself who can help me out, who can hold my hand and have confidence in me more than I have in myself, right? Trust me, if you will. I had friends across the country. Main Nagpur gaya, main Pune gaya. There's a very famous personality in Pune. You must have heard of this website too, Handa Ka Funda. I got introduced to him also. I was like, please mentor me. I went up to him and it didn't work out. I went to Nagpur. It didn't work out. I went to some place in Hyderabad, near Hyderabad. I don't remember the name, because I heard from my friends that there are people here, who can help you achieve what you want. So 3-4 cities I went to for 2 months. When I was actually looking for a mentor. I wish I had something like Unacademy at that time, right? That could help me connect with those people directly. Then finally, Arun Sharma sir happened. Then why should I do it? What am I achieving in life and why should I do it? I knew that I was doing it for myself, not for anyone else. Even if after scoring 99 percentile, my average academics are not going to help me get into IIMs. I knew, I was very clear कि भाई ना तो मेरे 10th में अच्छे marks हैं, ना 12th में अच्छे marks हैं, ना graduation में अच्छे marks हैं, ना तो life में मैंने कुछ achieve करा very strongly, right? No achievements, no startup, just one single company I worked for almost 5 years, right? No significant achievement. Thought about the awards within the company, not of significant value. So why should I do it? I was like, I need to score well in these exams to prove it to myself that this gap that I have of academics, I could fill it. Right? बाद में ठीक है, college जो भी मिलेगा मेरे को, considering my percentile and my profile, I'll respect that. But first of all, I need to achieve the score. MBA, why not something else? Technically, I was not inclined. I moved to a business analyst kind of a role very soon in my career with Accenture also, which was away from technical role. I was not a good engineer. 2 months, 3 months down my career in Accenture, मुझे समझ में आ गया कि I'm not the one who can code well, right? आज की date में भी I can't type hello world, although I'm an engineer in any language, right? So why not something else? I knew that my propensity does not lie, my strength does not lie in coding, in technical things. MBA is something that is going to give me a holistic view of how businesses run, how startups. So startup is something I was really inclined towards. कि भाई business कैसे होता है, marketing, operations, sales. These are the kind of things that really interested me. Client interaction, a lot of client interaction when I was a business analyst at Accenture helped me build that strength. Communication, soft skills, I would call it. MBA, I knew that is going to help me catapult my career that way. If MBA, where from? Again, I was very scared. One second, let me just plug in the digital keyboard so that I can type also. A question has come. So should we do some preparation? We'll come to those questions later. Devrat Shukla, we'll come to that question. Please save your question for last 5-7 minutes of this class. Okay, so I was discussing if MBA, then where from? I was very skeptical, very doubtful. कि भाई आज की डेट में अगर मेरा 100 percentile भी आ जाता CAT में, right? I know I couldn't get into IM A, B, C. I'm not sure L में अगर जा पाता तो, right? So I knew that ABC is out of the picture. At that time, FMS had no, I would say, consideration of your past sins, as I would call them. ये पाप ही हैं हमारे 10th or 12th के, when we have not studied and have dedicated our time to something else in life. आज की डेट में these all were coming in flashback कि काश मैं थोड़ा और achieve कर लेता, थोड़ा और score कर लेता in my 10th and 12th. It was so easy, right? FMS was the college that did not consider your 10th and 12th back then. 2015 CAT I was talking about. Up to I think for past 2 years they started considering your 10th 12th also. उस टाइम पे FMS का ब्रेकअप क्या होता था? 85 percentile CAT का स्कोर, 5 percentile extempo. आपको टॉपिक देंगे, you'll have to talk, you have to speak on that topic for 2 minutes, and then 10% on your PI. I knew that this is the kind of interview that I should give. Right, so I had shortlisted a few colleges. FMS was there, MDI was there, SP Jam was there, right? And then IFT was there. If nothing works out, then probably IFT. And there were other colleges that I took exams also of, NMAT, so Nasi Monji, and SNAP I never took because it was never in my list of colleges I would want to consider for my MBA. So these were the 3-4 colleges I knew I could get into if I scored well in my CAT exam. ठीक है, so ये मैंने jot down करा. I mean, this is about being practical in life. I knew 100 percentile के बाद भी IM ABC में नहीं जा सकता मैं, so let's be practical. 100 percentile score करूँ तो किस colleges के लिए करूँ, right? So that is what you have to do too. But what does it take to do MBA from a good college in India? That is something we're going to discuss later, right? What does it take to do MBA? अगर मैं घुस भी गया in top colleges में, ठीक है, top college का मतलब है smart students, intelligent students, जिन्होंने जिंदगी में कुछ उखाड़ा है, कुछ अचीव करा है लाइफ में. मैं उनके साथ compete कैसे कर पाऊंगा? आज मैं 100 percentile ले भी आया. This is just one achievement, right? How will I compete with them inside the MBA classroom? Because getting into MBA school is just half battle won. Trust me, inside you'll meet a lot of smart students, very fast students, right? People who have like great propensity for success in life. How will I compete with them? So that inspired me to change my habits, my daily habits. That is something we'll discuss probably later if we have time in this session, or we're going to take another session next month, right? So what does it take to do MBA from a good college? First of all, a good score. Once I get inside, there have to be some good habits that I have to inculcate, right? And can I do it? I've never done this before. I've never achieved something like this before. I've never competed with 2.5 lakh people ever in my life. The last time I did was IEEE and PMT, which had like 8 to 10 lakh of aspirants, and I felt really bad. Not felt, but felt really bad. Felt तो really bad अगर हुआ होता तो लाइफ में मैं पहले ही कुछ अचीव कर लेता, right? So I felt really bad. आज से 10 लाख लोग compete कर रहे हैं, my rank was in lakhs, right? So आज की डेट में मैं इन 2.5 लाख लोगों के साथ compete कैसे कर पाऊंगा? उस टाइम पे 2 लाख applications थी CAT की, right? मैं इन 2 लाख लोगों के साथ कैसे compete कर पाऊंगा? There are people from IITs, people from SRCC kind of colleges, people from great colleges from across the country who are taking this exam called CAT, right? Although the name of the exam is Common Admission Test, it's not that common. In a way, it's not that simple to crack this exam. Common for all is what it was, right? And can I do it is what the question was in my mind. Why can't I, right? If I think that I can't do it, first of all, I ask myself a question: can I do this? I decided yes, I can, right? If I had, before that there were a lot of iterations that I don't think I can, I don't think I can. Then I asked myself a question: why can't I, right? This exam is independent. This particular exam, CAT, what comes later, profiling and selection comes later. But this particular exam, individual exam, as a standalone, is independent of my past sins in life, right? If I do well in this exam, I can do a lot of things later, right? So why can't I? This preparation has nothing to do with my attitude, with my behavior, my past achievements, which were not very significant, right? So why can't I? It's an independent exam. If I prepare for it, I can do it. And the inspiration lied in my home. That is something I'm gonna tell you about later. But I've never done anything like it before. As I said, competing with 2 lakh people is not an easy job. The whole idea कि भाई 2 लाख बच्चा बैठ रहा है इस एग्जाम के लिए is something very intimidating, right? I've never done something like this before. Never. I'm 26 at that time. I've never taken any such exam and achieved success in it. Right. So this is what the strategy is, Neelkant. That is what we're discussing. I'm not going to give you like a notion, a formula that is going to work for you. The session is what changed my life. I'm going to discuss my experience, and then I'm going to discuss what worked for me. And simultaneously, I'm discussing what worked for me. So learn from this also. If you're expecting that I'm going to pull up some slide that is going to have like 4 or 5 formulae for success, mantra for success, I would say there is none, right? I'm just going to tell you what kind of habits I inculcated and worked for me. So just setting the expectation right for everyone. Okay, then who else has done it? Let me check with them. Inspiration lied at home. My younger brother, who was IIT Delhi graduate, again an inspiration, big inspiration. That is what inspired me to do something like this. A younger brother from IIT, right, is worse than you being from IIT. No, because it's very tough to deal with it. To be honest, I'm just being very candid and honest with you guys. It was an inspiration at the same time too. He inspired me to, he told me, he in a way showed me the window that, okay, there are like a lot of doors of achievements, a lot of doors of success. You just have to go work towards them, and you're going to achieve what you have to achieve, what you want to achieve. Then a question that appeared was, what if I fail? What are my backup plan? What if I fail was a very intimidating question. By CAT 2014, I would appeared for 93 percentile. CAT 2015, if I fail, I would be done with my 5 years of work experience. इसके बाद तो कोई chance ही नहीं है MBA का इस देश में, right? Because a heavy work ex is looked down upon for MBA, for a regular MBA, 2-year MBA in this country, although it should add more value. But that's not the case. I knew that I should have a backup plan. My backup plan was to save money later and then, probably appear for GMAT and fly outside. Again, not a very, I would say, foolproof plan, because I couldn't afford that kind of investment on my education at that time of my life. So what were my backup plans is something I jotted down. Then I'm working. How do I manage between studies and work? I couldn't leave my job because, of course, I have to keep earning at the same time. Right? Coming from a middle class background, I cannot afford to sit back at home for 9 months. Right? Earn nothing. Right? And just study. That is not the kind of expectation I had for myself and my family had for me. Okay, yes, I can do it. Finally, I came to the answer that yes, I can do it, and now I should start working towards it. So these are the questions you would also ask yourself. If not, I would say please ask yourself these questions. All the questions written on the screen in front of you. Agar aur bhi kuch questions, ask yourselves and figure out the answers. Right? The answer is within you only. It's not that someone else is going to tell you the answers to the questions that you have in life. So most of them can be answered by yourself. Of course, you can get inspired by people around, but no one will actually hold your finger throughout life and gonna take you to places. You have to do it yourself. So ask these questions. What did I do next? One second, let me take some questions. Neil Kant has some questions. So same academics are too low now. I can imagine how you're feeling at that time. Let's see if you can do them. Definitely I can do also. All right. Any other question? Anyone? Let's take I would say, short break of like a minute. I've been talking for past half an hour now, continually. Now, next I'm going to discuss what worked for me. What did I do that changed my life? And this is not something that happened overnight. Guys, please do not expect me to tell you one formula जो आप एक मंत्र जो आप जपोगे एक हफ्ते के लिए और आप स्कोर कर लोगे CAT में and you're going to achieve success in life. That doesn't happen. Success is a habit, right? It doesn't come overnight. I remember this interview of Lionel Messi, right? When he scored a goal in his first match, international match. So there was an interviewer who asked him this question: how does it feel to be an overnight success, right? So Messi replied that for you it's an overnight success, but I worked for 17 years, day in and day out, to achieve this success. So it appeared to be an overnight success for you, but it was a lot of hard work throughout life that I put in. So success is a habit. All right, was budget the only reason for CAT over GMAT? Yes, and also the profile, Prakhar, as I mentioned, coming from a very, very average academics and now very average profile, and GMAT ki consideration ke liye, you have to have some significant achievements. I knew I didn't have those achievements, so I was very practical in that sense. And also budget, one of the reasons, 50-60 lakh versus 17-18 lakhs in India. And also to prove to myself that CAT, which is considered to be a very tough exam, I can do it. Right, one second, guys. Slowly. So I'm a non-engineer maths. I lived back 3 years. Will it work? Absolutely. It's a add-on to your profile, diversity. Ayush, if you don't have any work experience, can we go for CAT exam? Ayush is asking a very good question. If you don't have work experience, can you still go for CAT exam? Ayush, save this question for later. I'll discuss with you one graph, which is a normal distribution graph. Chaliye, let's just, I see that people have a lot of questions. I was expecting like a couple of them. So what we'll do is we'll just finish what I have to talk about for next 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, and then we'll start taking questions. Okay. Chaliye, what did I do next? What worked out for me? Now you know what the background was that I was coming from. Now what changed my life? What did I do next? I worked towards my goal. Is a simple statement, a very vague statement, but what goes behind is something we'll discuss. What did I do? Developed some good habits. First of all, respect the exam, the success that you want to achieve. Right? The first thing I worked towards was consistency. When I was preparing for this exam, I knew that the only thing that can work for me is not, reading or I would say preparing for it once in a week or once in a fortnight. I have to be consistent. As I said, I had to develop some habits. So preparation of this exam was one of the habits, like the main habit that I had to develop. For that, consistency. I started solving basic questions. The first thing I did was appeared for a mock exam. ठीक है, मैंने CL के mock लिया, career launcher के mock लिया, and I went up to test myself कि भाई मैं stand क्या करता हूँ. I'm on my way to achieving 99 percentile, 98 kind of a percentile, right? But where do I stand right now? अपनी औकात जानना is very important, and I'm using these candid words because this is actually true. I'm not gonna use some fancy terms and inspire you in that way, but I'm gonna tell you to understand where you stand. अपनी औकात जानना is very important, right? I scored 60 percentile in my first CL mock. That was an eye opener. from 60 to 99 was a tough journey, is what I realized. So I appeared again. Like, ठीक है, 3-4 दिन बाद और देते हैं. Probably, this first exam, this first mock was the tough one and things like that. You don't want to believe that you are a weak student most of the time in life. So I appeared again and I scored a 56 percentile. Now I knew what the reality was. This is where I stand. Or 55 kind of a percentile in CAT means अगर आप पूरा पेपर छोड़कर भी आते हो, you are a 45 to 50 percentiler in this exam, because a lot of people who score in negative. Okay. Consistency. I started solving basic questions. Something every day. Achieving however little every day gave me that sense of achievement, that sense of confidence, and took me closer to mental state of competition. ठीक है, अब थोड़ा बहुत भी जब अचीव करोगे दिन में से, अगर आप बेसिक क्वेश्चन भी सॉल्व करोगे, 20 क्वेश्चन आपने सॉल्व करोगे, बहुत ही इजी. It gives you a sense of achievement, right? So that is what I was looking for initially when I started off preparing, starting with the basics. No smart work without hard work. People talk about कि भाई we are smart workers, smart work करेंगे, इतनी मेहनत नहीं करनी हमने. People say कि अगर आप 3 महीने भी CAT के लिए पढ़ लोगे तो आप स्कोर कर सकते हो 98-99 percentile. Those are the people who have already done this before, right? Those are the people who have their basics clear, right? अगर आज मैं आपको बोलूं, if you're scoring in excess of 50-55 in your mocks and you have 3 months or 2 months to CAT, and what you can do is 1 घंटा 1.5 घंटा रोज पढ़ो, you can still achieve it. I would be lying, right? To understand that, so no smart work without hard work first. So I practiced a lot. I solved n number of questions each day. A time came and I was solving 150 to 200 questions every day. I started with 50 questions per day. Very basic questions, gave me sense of confidence. Gradually, I moved up to 140, 150 questions per day. These were only quants, DI, and LR questions. RC and English is something I didn't count as questions because they were like kind of habit I developed. कि मुझे रोज न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है, उसके ऊपर मुझे शॉर्ट समरी लिखनी है, या RC पढ़ना है और orally मैंने क्वेश्चन भी सॉल्व करने हैं RCs के. Then when board time comes in your preparation, the learning curve, I'm going to draw a graph right now. The learning curve looks like this. It's very steep initially. I see that a lot of people that joined the session, they are very enthusiastic, very confident and very passionate right now. कि भाई हमने तो CAT फाड़ना है, paper फाड़ना है हमने. But this is what the learning curve looks like. Learning versus time. ठीक है, जैसे जैसे आप सीखना शुरू करते हो, you're preparing for something new, you're learning something new. The curve is very, very steep. You're very excited. This is a phase of excitement. कि भाई कुछ नया सीखने को मिल रहा है, बहुत मजा आ रहा है, right? Confidence level बहुत high है आपका. Question भी solve हो रहे हैं, so why not? A time comes, say आज January is coming to an end, so February is starting, right? July will come, July or August will come when you'll start getting bored of the same thing that you were excited about, right? You'll be like, यार क्या same चीज हम करे जा रहे हैं, same questions, same paper, क्या CAT. That is a very crucial time, right? If you stick to what you are doing in this phase, you stick to what you're doing, then the learning curve becomes steep again. This is the phase where you face dejection, where you feel very bored, you feel underconfident, you feel demotivated. You're like, bhai, mujhse nahi hoga, ye CAT exam. Probably let's look for something else in life, right? But keep doing what you're doing. Stick to your guns. Keep believing in yourself. Of course, you need mentors. The reason we have this platform like Unacademy Plus that is helping you connect with people who have achieved this, who have done this, who have gone through this before, right? Stick to your mentors. Keep seeking their mentorship. This phase comes in everyone's life when you're learning something new, when you are off, you're set to achieve something great in life, something big in life. So just stick to your guns, be patient, and this learning curve improves again. So this is what we're talking about. When bored and exhausted, time comes when you'll start feeling bored and exhausted. थक जाओगे आप एक ही चीज की बार बार बात करते हुए, एक ही जैसे सम्स को, एक ही जैसे चैप्टर्स को बार बार देखते हुए. Then is the time that you should take a break. In days when I would want to just go out and forget about CAT, I took a day or two off, which is absolutely fine. You have ample time right now to take 2 to 3 days off. And at that time, do not talk about or think about CAT at all. Right? A quality that you should possess to keep a balance in life, work-life balance in life. Right? Next thing, I read every day. I made reading a habit. There's something that I still possess, this habit. If I don't read for like 2 days, it starts irritating me, right? Because people around that I work with, so I'm right now working in Bangalore in a startup, right? People around are so smart, they're so sharp. If you don't know what is happening around, after MBA, guys, it's another challenge because the expectation, the kind of personality, the kind of people you network with, you talk with, are like very smart people, very sharp people, and you have to keep up to the pace, right? So you have to know what is happening around. You have to understand. You have to learn. You cannot be like, "Bhai, मेरे को ये 4 चीजें पता है, and this is something I'm gonna say talk about for next 1 week or 15 days with people." People are gonna talk about random things and something international, national level, science and technology, and a lot of random things too. Something may not be of your interest, but you have to read them. You have to read about them because you have to be a part of that whole network, that group, right? This is a management learning, more of a management learning. So I made reading a habit. I read to learn, pay attention to details, not to improve my speed or anything. Trust me, people who talk about कि भाई अपनी speed बढ़ाओ reading की, इतने words per minute, इतने words in 2 minutes. Trust me, it's all not a very good thing. It's not something that really helps you in an exam like CAT and the exams that you're preparing for. It's not absolutely required. What is required is paying attention to details to understand the tone of the passage of whatever you're reading. So I picked up anything to start with and gradually diversified the genre. So initially, you won't feel like, say, reading about topics that are not of your interest. You would want to read about topics that interest you, say science interests you, say biology, say chemistry, say physics, or say commerce or politics interests you. Read about that. And gradually, you'll have to diversify this genre because when you're preparing for this exam, when you appear for this exam, ye exam can ask you anything. The RC can be of any topic that may not be of your interest. So how to hold attention, how to understand the basics, ताकि अगर science is not, technology is not your forte, is not of your interest, आप politics के बारे में पढ़ते रहते हैं हमेशा, which is absolutely fine. But when you're preparing for this exam, you have to diversify genre ताकि जब ऐसा कुछ passage आए CAT में या ZAT में, IFT में, whichever exam you're preparing for, you know the basics. आपके पास वो जो terminologies का dictionary है, you don't have to figure out in the exam कि भैया ये word का मतलब क्या है. Right. Knowledge is important for us. I would say basics. Yes, as I said, diversifying your genre is always helpful. Then I reminded myself each day that I can and I have to do it for myself, if not for others. Right? And we, the other students, have cracked this exam and will continue to do so. So this was like a short discussion. I wanted to discuss my story, my background, my history, and how I try to transform it to something else. If you look at my profile now, this is the achievements I added in past 3 years, 4 years only, right? When I mentioned 4+ years, I would say this was the time when I was working with Arun Sharma sir, and also I was teaching alongside them because they opened this new center and they needed some part-time faculty. They understood that my academics are strong, my preparation is strong, so why not start teaching? So that is why this is 4+. Otherwise, all these achievements that you see are like gained past 3 years only. Right? This opportunity, the Boeing company, US, 1,500 applications for this internship from India, and 3 people were selected. 3 Indians were selected for this internship. I was one of them. CFA finance, I realized during my MBA, यार मेरे को ना finance अच्छे से समझ में नहीं आ रही. What do I do about it? I paid for my CFA exam. When you pay for something, right, naturally, intrinsically, you start preparing for it. तो मैंने 70,000 रुपए की पेमेंट करी CFA level 1 के लिए. That is the time. उससे पहले I was very lazy to learn about the technicalities, about terminologies and the concepts of finance. मुझे दिमाग में घुस ही नहीं रहा था, to be honest. Right, coming from a technical background, IT background, ये finance की चीजें मेरे को नहीं समझ में आ रही थी. Profit and loss statement and balance sheet, I just couldn't do it. Then I paid 70,000 rupees that I earned from my internship in US. I invested. I was like, अब मैं CFA का exam February में I paid and June में exam होता है. I prepared for like 3-4 months. and I cracked that CFA level 1. Right? So this is the kind of things I did in my life. Then French, I was always passionate about languages, French being one of them. I did part of my program of MDI from Paris, ESCP Paris, and I had learned French in my graduation also. So French was very close to me as language. So I was like, why not, do like a certification or do better, do more in this passion that I have, interest that I have in life. Then music was always my interest. So I picked up DJing. Reading again is my interest. Sketching is something I always did, right? But think about it. अगर मैं प्रोफाइल आपको अगर मैं अपनी प्रोफाइल आपको 3 साल पहले की दिखाता, even if I look at my resume from 3 years, 4 years back, and when I compare it with my resume now, it's completely different, right? And what changed for me is something we have discussed already. From MDI, I won this national level second prize for this case study competition, which was conducted by, what was that? IIT Delhi, right? And traffic police department of India. I won second prize. I won another third prize in another competition. So, it became a habit, to keep achieving small things in life that gave me a sense of inspiration and to keep looking forward and achieving more. Right, so that is what I want to discuss with you. I hope this session added some value. I hope you learned something from it. If not, you got a little inspired from the story, and probably it's going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve in life yourself. Right? 1 second. So I'm going to keep the session open for next 10 minutes, guys. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to check with me, want to ask me, please go ahead. So I'm going to pick questions that were posted before. Okay. Please repost your questions. I don't want to scroll up. David is asking a question: how to stick to our plan for the day, keep ourselves away from distractions. See, distractions are a part of life. Accept them, first of all. Do not try to ignore them, because if you deliberately try to avoid something in life, what happens is you're more inclined to do it. Accept it. That distraction is going to happen, right? 24 hours in a day, 10 घंटे आपने काम में बिताने या कॉलेज में बिताने, इवेंचुअली आपके पास आज से लेकर फरवरी से लेकर नेक्स्ट नवंबर एंड तक आपके पास ऑन एन एवरेज यू कैन ओनली प्रिपेयर फॉर 2 hours a day, or say 1.5 hours a day. I'm not being very aspirational here. ठीक है, just focus on spending this 1.5 hours. Whenever you think that you're like more focused or you're I would say more energetic today, say over the weekends you don't have anything else to do, increase this time to say 3 hours or 4 hours. But accept the fact that distractions will happen. It's a part of life, right? You just have to I would say gradually move to a time when distractions don't bother you anymore. Distractions are still there. You cannot control externalities. Who was this guy? Devrat, Shukla and others. Please understand that you cannot control externalities in life. All you can do is focus on internalities, internal, I would say personality. Okay, so focus on that. How do you decide which stream to go for in MBA? I didn't decide, Nikita. It just happened. Once I joined MBA, to be honest, I bluffed in my interview. मैंने बोला कि मैं finance करना चाहता हूँ. To be honest, because as I said, coming from an average background, there was nothing to flaunt about from my profile. So I had to tell them थोड़ा बहुत मैं पढ़ गया था finance के बारे में, and I kind of told them that this is what I want to do. But again, selecting one stream comes in the second year. First year is common across. So I figured out during the course that okay, this is what I want to do. Finance is what I'm more inclined towards. Maths is something that encourages me or interests me. Arun Sharma books enough. Neil Kant, I would say yes, because that is what worked for me. But again, different personalities, different sources. Neil Kant is asking if Arun Sharma books are enough. I would say I bought those 4 books and they worked out pretty well for me. And of course, I bought some mocks also. And before moving ahead to the questions, so I'm launching a lot of other courses on Unacademy Plus, structured courses, more interactions. I will be spending like 30 hours on the platform every month for us to communicate better, interact better, one-on-one interaction, or 1:5 ratio, 1:10 ratio, right? It depends. Sometimes when I take sessions early in the morning, More people join late in the night, more people join during the day, they're in college, office, less people join. So the kind of touch point we have is more personalized. So read about Unacademy Plus, and to avail discount, please use this coupon Bhavuk Pujara. You get an instant 10% discount. Right? We have a lot of educators, including myself, who are teaching on this platform and are giving you a more personalized experience. So yes, Neelkant, Arun Sharma books work for me. I hope they work for you too. But again, as I said, if you're running out of sources, once you think that you're done with Arun Sharma books, I would say then move on to other sources. And sources की कमी नहीं है आज की डेट में. I would say you go online, you type one, say quantitative aptitude, you have like thousands of questions. The problem is कि authenticity क्या है उस questions की, and is there anyone to help you solve those questions, right? That is what you should seek. I have average questions. Of course, Prateek, please go ahead. So how to excel in quants and DI? Practice. Mayan Kuraria is asking, start from basics. जब मैं DI की तैयारी कर रहा था, people say अरे यार DI is a factor of quantitative aptitude, इसकी अलग तैयारी करने की जरूरत नहीं है, but do not trust them. ठीक है? What worked for me is something, I can also I'm planning to launch a class on that as well. Or individual section-wise strategy. What worked for me for DI and LR was practicing 3 to 5 questions, sets every day. Starting from basics मैंने करे DI और LR के questions for 2 months. उसके बाद मैं moderate level sets पे गया, फिर finally difficult level sets पे गया. तो मैं अलग से नहीं बैठता था DI की तैयारी करने के लिए, LR की तैयारी करने के लिए. मैं questions उठाता था, 3 से 5 सेट मेरा हैबिट बन गई थी. तो मुझे रोज के रोज सॉल्व करना है, आज से लेकर CAT तक, नवंबर तक. What about self-study? Kranti is asking very good question. Self-study. See, there are 2 kinds of people. The first kind, they get inspired from inside. They know they had a fire in them. कि भाई हमें कुछ लाइफ में करना है. Forget what others are doing. मुझे लाइफ में ये करना है. I'm focused about that. Other people are, मुझे करना है, but I get inspiration from outside. First kind of people get inspiration from inside only. They have this fire. They have this fire inside them that is burning all the time. Right? Other people require inspiration from outside. So self-study, if you think you're the first kind of personality that you're very much inspired, you don't need any external inspiration, any external poking or encouragement, please go ahead. If you think I was not this first kind of personality, a little bit, yes, but I would say I was more of second kind of personality. I was inspired from inside, but I would always need an outside poking from my mentor, from people around to tell me what I can do and what I cannot do, what I can achieve, what I cannot achieve, what is practical, what is not practical, right? So this is something I knew would be working for me rather than just sitting back at home. Outside study also tells you, where you stand in terms of your peers. जब आप 4 दोस्त बनाते हो, say on the platform like Unacademy, or even if offline classes, you sit together, you exchange numbers, you discuss questions, you make a WhatsApp group, you start discussing questions. Sometimes what happens is self-study में you're ignoring a lot of things. Right, but 4 लोग बैठोगे साथ में तो वो एक तरीका probably ले आएगा, new technique, a new tip, and someone else will bring something else. So contribution is like better to solving questions, right? So the contribution in the class is better, and you learn different ways of solving questions and different challenges that can be faced. So again, self-study is sufficient if you are first kind of personality. If not, I would say enroll in some online or offline classes where you can interact with other people. Today we have, again, platforms like Unacademy where you can exchange numbers with your peers, and also with educators. We educators exchange numbers with you and create a WhatsApp group with you in case you have any doubts outside the class. How academics play a role for admissions into B schools? They are very important, Gaurav, especially in India. I mean, there's a big debate. भाई जो आपने पहले लाइफ में पाप करे हैं when you were 15 years old and then 17 years old, 10th and 12th I'm talking about, उसके बाद when you were 21 years old, उसकी बात क्यों कर रहे हो आज की डेट में when I'm 24 years old? I have changed. But think about it, right? आज आप लाइफ में पहुंचे, CAT में आपने 99 परसेंटाइल स्कोर करा, आप एग्जाम में इंटरव्यूअर के पास बैठे, आपने बोला सर मेरे पास्ट सिंस भूल जाओ आप, इसमें 50% था, इसमें 60% था, इसमें 60% था, और मैंने 2 साल कोई काम नहीं करा, लेकिन आज मैं एक बदला हुआ इंसान हूँ. Think about it. A lot of competition, a lot of people, a lot of candidates who are appearing for that seat. Overnight, personalities don't change, right? So that is why they have a filter. Ki bhaiya, do you have a record of such achievement? Kya ye 19 percentile tukka to nahi tha aapki life mein? Yeah, you have a habit of achieving, of success in life, right? So it becomes a filter for them. But again, it's not an absolute criteria. A decent profile, once you get an interview, is what is important, right? If an interview with Gusjao, then to convince them is all in your hands. So academics play a significant role, I would say, but a decent academics can also get you to a decent B school in the country. Like I shared my experience. Watch the recording if you join late. Ayushi, so can we go for CAT if we don't have work experience? Absolutely, Ayushi, I was going to discuss this. So everybody, please look on the screen. There's this thing called normal distribution curve. Okay? If you look at the Janta, the student base in the B school, you would see majority lies here, right? This is a majority chunk. This majority chunk has 1, 2, 3 years of work experience. 3 or say 3.5 years of work experience, right? Doesn't mean that people who are freshers won't get admissions. Or people who have heavy work experience is an example sitting in front of you. I had 5 years of work experience when I joined MDI Gurgaon. The day I joined, my 5 years were coming to an end. 2 months were left, right? So there are always outliers. So this normal distribution curve says that there are always tails, always outliers. So yes, 75 to 76% or 80% of the Janta in the B school will have this kind of work experience, 1 to 3.5. But there are always 20% seats for freshers and heavy work ex people. It's just that you have to convince them. They're skeptical to take freshers and heavy work ex people for different reasons, something that I'm going to discuss later in another session. Freshers के लिए इसलिए थोड़ा skeptical होते हैं because आपने कभी corporate life देखी नहीं, आपने college के बाहर life देखी नहीं होती कैसे है, right? आपने achieve करा है life में, बहुत कुछ achieve करा है academically, लेकिन to work and to study are two different things. That is why वो थोड़े skeptical हो जाते हैं. But if you convince them, you can absolutely get a seat in a good B school. Alicia is asking, so I'll be graduating this year and will give CAT to the undergrad. Will this gap hamper? I have no job experience. I will be graduating this year. So see, any gap of more than, I would say, 9 months is an impediment. I say 9 to 12 months. इससे ज़्यादा अगर आपके पास gap है तो पता चल जाता है कि आपने CAT की तैयारी के लिए gap लिया है. And they don't appreciate the fact that you had to sit back at home and prepare for this common admission test, which is nothing but a but aptitude exam. This is not an IIT-JEE exam. I'll take many more sessions later where I'm gonna discuss how this exam is different from other exams. लोग CAT को ऐसे perceive करते हैं जैसे भाई IIT-JEE exam है, हमसे नहीं होगा, बहुत tough है. No, it's a simple aptitude exam, right? So it's absolutely fine, Alicia. If your gap is say around 5 to 6 months, it shouldn't hamper your candidature. Smita is asking, when can I start my DILR preparation? I would say tomorrow, Smita. You can start from tomorrow. Look at the basics. Basics as in, देखो कि DI में कौन-कौन से types होते हैं. There are bar graphs, there are pie charts. समझो कि ये the different kinds of figures हैं, what they mean. इसमें कौन-कौन सी information आती है. What are they telling you? Why is it important, first of all, to learn all this? ये CAT की जो हम तैयारी कर रहे हैं, I'll take a session again. I'll tell you कि CAT की preparation is your management preparation in a way that is going to test you if you are a good management candidate or not. Can you become an effective manager in life or not? QA is good with mathematics, analytical skills. DI, आप company के manager हैं, you have to take a decision based on the revenue or the cost of the company. Cost और revenue आप देख रहे हो company की decline हो रही है in the past few years. Bar graph बना हुआ आएगा आपके पास when you're a manager. You have to take a decision quickly कि भाई क्या करें. Your revenues are declining. DI is important for that. LR, logical reasoning. You have to be logical with your decision making. VARC कि भाई clients और vendors जब interaction करोगे आप उनके साथ, do you understand their tone, how polite or how rude you are with them, how loud you are with them, right? Do you understand what they mean, what kind of tone they are using, what kind of vocabulary they're using? Because if you graduate from a good B school, you'll be interacting with international clients. क्या आपको उनकी English, उनकी vocabulary समझ में आती है? Right? So I took CAT exam की preparation as preparation or test for myself if I can become a good manager or not. Right? So everything has a significance. Right? So Smita, I would say start from tomorrow. आज के दिन break ले लो, कल से start करो, start from basics and start with 3 to 4, if not 3 to 4, I would say 2 to 3 DI and LR sets every day, very basics. Do only basics for next 1 month, doesn't matter, but this will help you get comfortable with what is coming next. Less percentage in 12th will affect. I'm not sure, Harsh, what do you mean by less? Less is a subjective term. I scored 73 and now you know what I made out of it. So less is a subjective term. Right? What is the minimum academics needed for IM ABC? I would say 85% in both 10th and 12th. This has become a criteria now for IM Ahmedabad and Bangalore. We have got to होना चाहिए. Again, excellence score in a CAT can still get you an IMC call, but not IM A and B call. Does a year gap matter post work experience? Grace John is asking. Grace John. So what matters here is a smart question would have been कि ये जो year gap में मैंने ये काम करा है, can I showcase it, right? A year gap, I don't understand when you mean a year gap. Or were you doing nothing? If nothing, then what? And nothing also should have something, right? Nothing का मतलब ये तो नहीं कि आप सुबह उठते थे, खाना खाते थे, टीवी देखते थे, सो जाते थे. I mean, कोई इंसान आज की डेट में 1 साल के लिए ये नहीं कर सकता. अगर आपने वो किया तो फिर God bless you. If not, I'm sure you would be doing, you must have done something else. So, I would say if not, I would say exaggerate what you have done in that 1 year. Agar aapne family business mein kuch kara hai, say that you have learned how to run a business or something like that, right? But a year gap is a very, I mean, they will question that. Ki aap is saal mein kar kya rahe the? So you have to come up with answers. I'm a pharmacy student. I started my CAT 10 years ago. It's my first time. Can I crack CAT? I mean, you tell me, Kishan, can you crack CAT? Sir, Arun Sharma books enough. Neelkant, I've answered this question. Ayushi Srivastav, when did you start taking mocks? At what point at your preparation? CAT 2014 की जब मैं तैयारी कर रहा था तो पहला मॉक मैंने लिया था जुलाई में. प्रिपरेशन मैंने जुलाई से शुरू करी थी. तो जब मैंने CAT 2015 की तैयारी शुरू करी, पहला मॉक मैंने लिया था अगस्त में. उससे पहले I was focusing more on work. I was figuring out what else I can do. Right, getting myself together. Then, can you start a batch for CAT 2020? I am starting a batch for CAT 2020. Again, that will be an Unacademy Plus, a course that I'll be launching. My next course that you can look up to is Introduction to Number Systems, which is the base of quantitative aptitude for CAT exam. So that is something I'm launching next month. Again, read about Unacademy Plus, use the coupon code. Do not forget to use the coupon code Bhavuk Pujara, which is my full name, to avail 10% discount. I've scored, Radhika is asking, I scored very badly in CAT this year. My graduation will complete in July this year and I have no scope of job. Should I reappear? Absolutely, Radhika. Why not? I mean, I would ask a cross question. Why not? Why do you think you can't reappear? Right? I've shared you my story. If not, watch this recording again. You'll probably join late and you don't get the gist of this whole session. The whole gist was, I have doubts on myself. Should I do it or can I do it? Right? Ayushi, sir, can we go for CAT without any work experience? Ayushi, I've answered already. Yes, freshers are also welcome. They're always outliers. So heavy work experience and freshers will always be there in the B schools. Pratik is asking, I have average, so I'll request you guys to stop posting any further questions, guys. You've exceeded the session by 5 minutes. I'll try to answer the questions that are already posted, but please do not post more questions. Okay, we'll connect again very soon. If not immediately, then I would say next week for sure. Pratik is asking, I have average past academic scores expect which is only 5.45, but I'm eligible for reservation. Can I compensate for my low graduation score? 5.45, it becomes a criteria for a lot of colleges that you have to score at least 6 in your graduation, Pratik. So you'll have to look into that. I'm not sure if this reservation you're talking about, and check for the B schools if they accept this reservation and what is the minimum score in that case, right? I don't have insights on that, Pratik. So do we नीलकंठ is asking, do बहुत सारे सवाल हैं नीलकंठ के पास, मेरे को लगता है ये आज ही के दिन सब सीख लेगा. Neelkant is asking, so do we have to solve 3 level of books? I can solve level 3 questions. Yes, I can't solve level 3 questions. See, Arun Sharma books that you are talking about, guys, everyone. जो Arun Sharma books अब market में देख रहे हो TMH books, उसमें CAT की preparation के लिए you only have to focus on solving completely LOD1, LOD2, LOD3. Even if you ask this question to Arun sir, I asked him once when I was with him at Mindwork. So the LOD3 questions are like very tough. These are like very complex. He told me, and he will tell you this too, the level 3 questions are not to be solved as is. You have to learn from these LOD3 questions. Ki bhai, so CAT is about 3-step solving of questions. 3 steps से ज़्यादा अगर एक question आया है जो कि solve 4 step में हो रहा है, 5 step में हो रहा है, I would say that's not a CAT question. LOD3 is just for you to understand how to retain information and how to learn from those multiple steps. पहले 2 steps में क्या किया, last के 2 steps में क्या किया, क्या आपने सीखा कि क्या input था, क्या output था. So you have to learn from these LOD3. You don't have to learn to solve them as they are, right, Neelkan? So I hope this answered the question. Focus on LOD1, LOD3 questions, solving them completely. LOD3, learn from them. Shivam is asking, sir, I'm working and planning to pursue MBA next year, but now my basics are not up to the mark. I want to seek a competitive preparation to CAT. Shivam is an ideal candidate for Unacademy Plus. Shivam, read about Unacademy Plus. Use the coupon code Bhavuk Pujara. You'll get access to structured courses where the educators are delivering these courses, structured courses for you to help you with your preparation, right? We give you academic base, academic sources to prepare from. Preparation आपकी academically भी होती है, plus psychologically भी होती है, because we're gonna mentor you in that way, right? If you think that the session inspired you, I'm gonna be interacting with you more often on Unacademy Plus. Right, dear sir Ravi Dikshit, dear Ravi, which MBA to go for? I don't understand the question. Ravi Dikshit is asking, you have achieved and pursuing kind of things which I look up to. I'm someone who needs a mentor, someone who keeps me kicking on my path. Can you be my mentor, sir? Ravi, as I said, we're going to interact more if you take Unacademy Plus. Use the coupon code Bhavuk Pujara to avail 10% discount, and you'll see more of me, right? And then, we mentors also look for people, look for students who we think can achieve and help us build our brand name too. I'm being, again, very honest here. Right? अगर मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ 10 बच्चों को, 10 में से किसी ने कुछ अचीव नहीं करा, या 10 में से किसी पे I'm not giving more attention than standard attention to everyone, I would say I'm not the kind of educator who would do this, right? अगर 10 बच्चों को पढ़ाते पढ़ाते I realized, and this has happened with me in my previous batches on Unacademy Plus, कि मुझे realize हुआ कि यार ये 2 से 3 बच्चे who are very regular, who are answering to questions, who do not miss my classes. But time came that I exchanged numbers with them, right? And they needed help with their CAT 2019 preparation, and I helped them at a more personal level. So this is the kind of relationship. Again, it's very personalized. I cannot be very objective in that. It's a very subjective. It's an emotional thing. Building a relationship with educators and students, right? So I cannot promise you upfront everything. If you turn out to be the kind of student that that I think I would be interested to mentor, and I think can achieve and is interested to achieve, then of course, why not? If you think I'm the kind of educator who can help you get there, then I'm glad. I'm pleased to know that. Okay, Ravi, I hope it answered your question. Can we go for CAT without any work experience? यार, Ayushi ने चौथी बार सवाल पूछ लिया. Ayushi, I've answered this question already. Yes, you can. Without, what is the gist of interview? Interview is not what we're discussing right now, Vishal. Irrelevant question. Please wait for such sessions. Interview experience. I'm not going to discuss my interview experience. I'm sorry. This is for CAT 2020 students and more of preparation around CAT 2020. Okay, we can discuss this in the next session. My interview experience probably would take another hour because it was very unique for all the interviews that I gave. IIMs wala experience tha. IIMs wale were not moving away from academic questions. मैंने बोला कि मेरे पास 5 साल का work experience है. Why are you focusing on my engineering? मुझसे आज भी तुम 8085, 8086 microcontrollers, microprocessors पूछ रहे हो. If I was interested in knowing about 8086, 8085 microcontrollers, microprocessors, तो भैया मैं MBA थोड़ी कर रहा हूँ, right? 5 साल के बाद मुझे नहीं आता. So I told them like very honestly to 3 questions. I was like, I don't know the answers to this question, but I'll try to find it out. And so you have to like be very gentle with that, of course. So my interview experience would probably take another 1 hour of discussion. So I can't solve level 2 questions of Arun Sharma books. What do I do? Please tell me. Join Unacademy Plus. We're going to take those LOD questions one by one. I'm starting a new course on number systems next month, where I'll be starting with LOD 1 and moving to moderate to difficult level questions. Again, do not forget to use Bhavuk Pujara as a coupon code. This way I'll know what student is like more interested to take my classes. Please discuss about Nasimonji interview experience again for another time, Vaibhav. So what you express in MDI Gurgaon another time, because so how many months is sufficient for CAT preparation? It depends on your current aptitude, the current level of understanding of the concepts. Sometimes 2 months are enough. Sometimes 20 months are not enough, right? And I'll tell you a story, not like very briefly. I'm going to mention my friend, my childhood friend, who took CAT 4 times, right? 4 बारी उसने CAT दिया, and trust me, he was serious about it all the time. He could not go beyond 78 percentile. Highest was 78 percentile. I'm not trying to scare you. There was me also at the same time who scored 93 in the first attempt and 98.3 in the second attempt, right? So it's absolutely fine. It depends on where you are right now, what kind of level you have. Understand that, judge yourself, test yourself. Apni, as I said, apni aukaat jano kya hai. See where you stand right now and work around that. Do not work blindly. A dark room mein jaake prepare karne ki zarurat nahi hai. It's better to have light around that can tell you, light that tells you ki bhai, this is where you are, this is what you have to do. Agricultural student will not, and maybe will also work. Yes, we have like a specific agribusiness course at IIM Ahmedabad, Alisha Sahu. So you can look up to that. Interview mein kya check karte hain, sir? Again, discussion for some other time. My interview experience. I took some YouTube sessions on my GTBA experience. I'm not sure if you guys joined. Anyways, my English is so poor. Can I eligible fight for CAT? If yes, how? Rishabh Jain पूछ रहे हैं कि उनकी English is not that great, which is absolutely fine. Rishabh, अगर आप sections देखें तो QA doesn't require English, DI doesn't require excellent English, LR doesn't require excellent English, VARC I would say requires decent amount of understanding. CAT आपसे कभी भी vocabulary के सवाल नहीं पूछता. There's a reason, because they're not testing you on your English. They're testing you on your reading ability, retention of information. How do you judge the tone of your clients' emails, of your vendors' emails? How do you respond to them? क्या आपको समझ में आता है कि client कब मजाक कर रहा है और कब serious है अपनी conversation में, अपनी emails में? This is what they're testing you on. So do not worry, people who think that their English is poor or is not that great. I would say read, make reading a habit, and you should be good. Read for like half an hour, 30 minutes every day. Should be good. Okay, is this clear, everyone? People who are still in the session, please wave. Please comment yes or no if everything went well in the session. If the session added any value, any suggestions, any comments you want to make, any feedback you have in the session, please provide here. Or also, once you close this window, you'll get a feedback window. Please provide your feedback on how you found this session. Kitna interesting tha. Please provide your comments also there, and suggestions on how, what kind of sessions would you want me to come up with the next time. And also for more personalized touch point, I would say read about Unacademy Plus. We have structured courses there. And such kind of experiences I keep sharing because I understand. And trust me, this is because I've seen this myself. मैं आपको अगर पढ़ाता रहूँगा as an educator, आपसे हमेशा सिर्फ मैथ्स की बात करूँगा, DI की बात करूँगा, LR की बात करूँगा. Time will come when your interest will fall off, right? We as our relationship as educator and students will fall off. So you need that mentorship is what I understand, because I needed that too. I still need that. I'm still in touch with Arun Sharma sir, Meenakshi ma'am, and a lot of other people that helped me achieve the things I want to achieve. It was my brother's wedding last week. Arun Sharma sir came there, and it was beautiful. The kind of relationship, the kind of interaction, the network, or the kind of that bond we have as educators and student. I was a student of his once, so it's very important, I would say, psychological preparation along with an academic preparation. So that is why I try to deliver through my lessons, through my courses. So again, read about Unacademy Plus. Use the coupon code. Please do not forget to use this coupon code Bhavuk Pujara to avail an instant 10% discount. You can buy any of these subscriptions. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. You think you want to try right now? Take 1 month. You think you're sure about what you're getting into? 12-month subscription le lo. The cost is also, it's pretty cheap than other subscription prices. And also 10% discount you're getting using my coupon code as well. All right. If you have any doubts about Unacademy Plus, please message me on the platform Unacademy. Comment on any of the lessons. I get a notification that someone has commented on my lesson. So I'll try to answer your questions. If you have credits, you can message me on the platform. Can you make videos on how give answer of question interview, please, sir, because I hesitate. Rishabh, I mean, we don't make videos anymore. We verified and plus educators. We don't make those short videos that we used to make. We are only interacting live on this platform now, right? So I'm sorry I cannot make videos, but again, as I said, Unacademy Plus will help you get in touch with me more often. Regular interaction में, regular classes में, you can post your questions. छोटी-छोटी चीजें you can ask me towards the end of the session, and I try to answer every time. All right. Anything else, guys? Let's close the session. If nothing, thank you so much for attending. I hope you learned something from here. You got inspired, if not much, but to an extent that you know what you're getting into now. You know what to do next to kick off your preparation. We'll connect again very soon. Follow my courses on Unacademy. Follow me as an educator on Unacademy. And read about Unacademy Plus if you're sure about getting in touch with us educators in a more personalized way. And next, such special class, such free live session is going to be only next week. So I can only take one or, best scenario, 2 sessions in a week, not more than that, because we have to dedicate our time more on Unacademy Plus platform. All right. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome, Vishal. You're welcome, Yashi. All right. Ashar. Good night. Good luck. Keep learning. Please provide your feedback once you close this window. Goodbye, guys.